Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. If you are returning, thank you. You guys, I know it's been like a month since I put out a video. I can't even say why. It's just needed. It's been a needed like break, and kind of like the last reading I did was about kind of bringing our spirituality to our homes, to the earth. So I've been feeling like this rooting or coming back down into the material matters and the earth matters. Especially, I think this is important for light workers right now. As nice as it is to be the kind of metaphor, the vision I got for this was like being like up in the lighthouse and now coming down from the lighthouse to stand on the shore and kind of dock people, if that makes sense. Like be there on the ground, not just shining the light on it, but like actually in it more, if that makes sense. So I've decided to start these now with the first house, but the first house right now, current energy is, it's always ruled by Aries, but Cancer is what's the ascendant or in the first house. So we're going to start the reading with Cancers, and we're going to go through, really that's all that's happening right now in this first house. That's bigger. It's just, so let's just start with a couple oracles, you guys. Once again, I hope everybody's taking care of themselves and everybody's been well. And thank you for staying with the channel and continuing to support the work, okay? So let's go ahead and start with a crystal mandala, okay? Been getting a lot of stuff here, and just stuff I've been filling, and we got from word to world, okay? From word to world. Very important. It's kind of what I've been kind of going through too, is kind of waiting to see kind of what needs to be spoken or what needs to be talked about, and how important our words are, how much responsibility we hold with our words and the energy that's behind those words. It's a time to be very intentional in what we're saying and what we're doing. It's always good to be intentional, but with these energies, it's just it feels like things are moving really fast, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and get one of these for this. So if you have anything in the first house, this can also apply to you. You don't necessarily have to be a Cancer or an Aries, but it wouldn't probably hurt to check it out. Or maybe you got a Venus or a whatever in Cancer. That means it's in this area right now. So it's in the first house. Not in your chart, but in like, it'd be affecting you. Either way, I've been doing a lot of astrology and stuff, and I don't want to confuse people with all of it, but it just doesn't hurt to see where these are playing out in your chart if you have your chart. We got Bath Coal. Okay, nice. Let's see here. I'm just going to pull the cards, and then we're going to go ahead and get into it, okay, guys? Okay. So that feeling of feeling half seen, half submerged, that's what I get from this card. And like this kind of noticing what you're seeing outside, like in your reality, and how that's being reflected under the surface, inside. Really sitting with kind of both worlds right now. So that this is feeling pretty balanced here for the people that this is resonating with. It's there's also a feeling here of wanting to let something be seen or communicated. Maybe you're trying to understand something that you're receiving within, or this could be you want to communicate something to another, or to the outside world from somewhere deep in, okay? So that could kind of go either way, but we are going to continue to get a few cards here, and then I'll get that tarot. It's almost like feeling like there's a lot, like half and half. It's feeling balanced, like I said. It's feeling like half in, half out, half spoken, half not. What do we got here? The spaces between the worlds. Yes, there's this feeling of being between the inner world and the outer world. I've been feeling this too, like it's that bridge energy, or that I can't stay just in, I can't just stay out. Somehow I'm maneuvering between what I'm feeling inside and what I want to put out, and how do I do that? And my sun is Cancer, so I am feeling that. And also there's this feeling of so during this process, I spent a lot of time in the inner realm, the deep psyche stuff, okay? And coming back is what it feels like. It feels like coming back to earth, or coming back to in the kind of the it feels like kind of in the trenches, or in in, you know, and seeing a lot. But it's like like knowing I've been doing like this work, and anybody who's can resonate with this knows they've been doing the work so that they can be down on the ground, and they know how to like kind of withstand like the storm, and like kind of even like be a leader or a guide, like to help others like kind of get through maybe some transitions or some big energy shifts that they might be going through. We're all going through some big energy shifts right now, but I'd say this is a very middle, where it, this energy, this Cancer energy, is a very middle energy. It's a middle world energy. It's becoming more, I feel like, especially Cancers have always been like in the depth anyway, but like very unconsciously putting that outside themselves, like projecting that on others, when it really is a personal experience. It really is. Not everybody's that emotional, or that everything's emotional, and everything's, you know, we've learned to balance this out. We've learned to look at it honestly and say, okay, how's that affecting my outer world, and how am I going to put this emotion or this feeling out here from word to world? How do I put this out there without like the mess, you know? Because it can get very messy. Emotions are not a bad thing. They can just get pretty messy. You have to forgive me, my throat has been sore, but all right, let's go ahead and get one of these. It does feel like trying to like stay balanced here between what you feel, what you say. We got two that came out, guys. So we got dreaming. This looks like a mind. A lot going on in the mind. Oh, and it has the mushrooms, you guys. I've been getting that for a while, this communication energy. How do I communicate this? Kind of without words, but from word to world. We are going to read that. But then we got belonging. This is a healing energy, and it also feels like a Chiron energy. So maybe that is playing a part in, maybe your Chiron is in your first house or something like that. The first house. This feels like that feeling of like really wanting to belong somewhere, but not feeling like you're neither part of this nor part of that. That's that middle energy I'm getting. But there's this feeling of really wanting to belong just as you are, or just as, and kind of, and it's not that you don't, it's just, it's a deep kind of wound that needs healing. And it's something that, how do I put this? There has to be people and souls that can balance the unseen with the seen worlds. We will read those, but that is interesting. Okay, let's see here. Okay, the spaces between the worlds. Okay, let's get one of these. So feeling here of wanting to bring two worlds together, and that's what I feel like this energy is trying to do. It's trying to bring the balance in between clearing out, or this is by healing those feelings that tell us we don't belong here. And then we got fertility. This is kind of like Empress energy, okay? So that's knowing that you can do whatever, you can plant and build and grow whatever it is you need to. You have everything you need to make this happen. It's also centered on the heart chakra. So it's also allowing that allowance of knowing, like I was kind of talking about, like not everybody is in the same place at the same time. So allowing things to grow, allowing things to be just as they are, even if you can see both this and that, know that this middle, where you're at, is exactly where you're supposed to be at. So if you're wondering, oh, I feel like I can't settle into this or that, you're not meant to. You're meant to be in between. You're meant to be kind of a bridge. It's kind of a communicator, or the bridge between the worlds. And sometimes it can feel really like, oh, I don't want to say this, or this maybe my words or my feelings, I don't know how to put them out here, like where it isn't going to be judged. Or, well, we've been working on that. I've been working on this channel about healing those parts of ourselves that get our self-worth or get our value from what others think of us, or how we make them. We want to make people feel good, but if we don't, and it's not honoring our spirits, or we're dimming our shine or dimming our truth to make others more comfortable, then we're not honoring our soul's growth, and we're not honoring our energy, our authentic energy, which is why each person has their own energy to bring to the table. So that's also what I'm getting from that. So let's go ahead and get a couple of these guys. Spaces between the worlds. And that kind of feels like where I've been also. Like, I know a lot of people are probably feeling this, like that break energy, but it's not a break. There's a lot happening. There isn't like, it's been a lot like, man, when am I going to be able to speak? Or what do I say when I do talk? Because there's been so much. We got a contribution. Nice. The 10 of Earth. Contributing to our legacy, or our families, or our Earth matters. Contributing the best way we know how. It can be a lot. It's a lot of work, but this is also completion. Knowing that you have contributed, which you could. And also being able to see now, possibly, some of the value and the growth that's happened, maybe in your family, maybe in your job, maybe in your community, because of the contribution you've made. So I think that's really important to recognize that, and it comes from having this in-between energy, or this balanced energy. Not being too much in one, but not being too much in the other. By that I mean like the spiritual and the material, okay? And we got compassion. This is what a lot of water energy brings, but it's compassion, it's understanding, it's being able to bring that to the table when you see somebody might be in this space or that space, and show that compassion to allow more growth and know that it is happening. Because if you see both, you can see both. You can see both sides. You can see both here and there, that, then, and now, and there. It's just, there's a lot of, this is a lot of psychic energy too. I'm getting that. A lot of just bringing what you can to the community, the family, and showing compassion, and kind of just rising above like the separation, really, and just kind of being that in between, and being okay with trying to bring and knowing there is, how do I put this? There is an in between, and sometimes it can be more comfortable to stay in one or the other. And we got the Hangman on the bottom, but we need to make these steps inward, outward, spiritual, physical, so we can see things from another point of view, another thing. There might be something more there to learn. The more you know about any energies you're dealing with, the better to manifest, the Magician. So really trying to bring something, I feel like, here to the community, to the family, and doing it through that, being that in-between energy of bringing something you're bringing back from another realm, a place that maybe isn't seen to everybody, but you can see it, and it's bringing it here and communicating it the best way you can through your actions, maybe through your words, maybe through an artistic or creative passion to bring it to help others kind of grow. Really, that's what I'm getting with the Empress here. And also open up your heart and others' hearts by bringing this compassion and understanding, because it's like you understand there's the submergement and then there's the being out of it, out of it and in it, but there's a space in between that's like balanced and can see both and be like, okay, it's just like there's a feeling here of just kind of knowing what needs to be kind of relayed or spoken or communicated or expressed through just a knowing, because of being in this between worlds, or this in between, and it's healing something. It's healing like a gap in between. It's healing like that division. It's making that gap get closer, so it's all one. Yeah, I am feeling that. All right, I like that. Let's just see real quick what needs to be surrendered here. Surrender to inner peace. Surrender to inner peace about where you're at. If you're seeing things a little differently than others, or you're experiencing something right now that is kind of feeling like not peaceful, like even if it's things around you or the way you're feeling about like your part or your contribution to something, and you're like, oh, this is a lot. Like it's saying just go with the flow. Be peaceful with. It says cultivate inner peace on a daily basis in quiet meditative moments. Focus on the stillness within and enjoy the inner refuge. Others will feel your good vibes too, and your life will flow more easily. And this is about putting that inner peace into the outer world, into the everything around you. So let's go ahead and read this from Word to World. I'm just going to read this short, you guys. 20. Higher will. Oh, this isn't right. That isn't right. No, 40. Excuse me. I think that isn't right. 40. We bring you the empowerment of Word to World. What you speak of with intention, you shall manifest. So we want to contribute and express with compassion and understanding to manifest good things. That's what I am getting here. From the Word to the world, the space in between. Think about that. Think about what you've gathered from this whole space in between, and bring that forward. I know, like in my gathering the last month, it's just been a lot of, wow, this is the earth. This is my home. This is where I live. But I want to bring more here. I want to bring what others can't maybe feel, maybe see, to the table. But how do I do that? How do I do that effectively and in a way that doesn't, you don't want to, there's so much responsibility with this. It just feels like, but it's really simple, actually. The biggest responsibility you have is allowance and compassion, understanding. That's our responsibility, especially as light workers, to understand that no matter the dimness, the darkness, there's light there. There's always light there, and it's always shining, or we wouldn't even be able to see it. We wouldn't even understand that it's there. But there's also a lot to be gathered in those spaces that might be lacking a little light or a little understanding, compassion, because now we know where we can put our energy in to bring a little more light to that subject or that space, okay? That is coming through. I'm not sure what that is, but that just came through. What you speak of with intention, you shall manifest. You are blessed with the creative power of an open and activated throat chakra. As you release subconscious fear of speaking your truth, memories of being silenced, and claim your true divine voice, your ability to change the world through your intention is amplified. You have the power of divine creation through the sound in you. What you wish to create and experience, speak of with joy. I love that. There are many times on the spiritual path when we feel we are in circumstances not of our conscious choosing. In fact, we may think there's no way I would have chosen this situation. Perhaps the mind would not, yet through the frequency of our being, we are attracted to various people, places, and things. If we have a healthy self-esteem, we will tend to be attracted to that which uplifts, assists, and inspires. If we are healing issues to do with self-worth, or can spiritually benefit from an experience of lower vibrational energy to help us on our life journey, we will be unconsciously attracted to that which feels lowering. Those experiences tend to generate fear and negativity and don't feel good in that they can sometimes be the motivational push we need to break free from a fear because we simply cannot bear feeling that way anymore. So that uncomfort is a catalyst to push through and get ourselves more comfortable with not being comfortable. I am also, that's also a thing there. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at this spaces between worlds. 24. When we look for guidance, we often look for words that clarify, reassure, and help us find our authentic path through the chaos. Yet there's also guidance in the spaces between the words, between each letter, and between all the happenings in our lives, where there is nothing to be said, where there are no lines to be colored in, where there is just openness. That is the energy I feel that has been happening here. And now we're getting into this creation energy, this magician energy, which is really active energy. And it's actually becoming way more active than you have been even this last month. It's coming in with a lot that you've been picking up in that in-between and ready to bring out, ready to bring to the surface, to be seen, to be felt, to be heard, to be nurtured. So you're nurturing something that you've been seeing inside and recognizing, and now it's coming to, like, it's time to come out. Like it isn't feeling like hermit. It's feeling like a lot of like it's feeling like discomfort, but it's feeling like a lot of like self-analyzing about the discomfort, like analyzing the discomfort and seeing how, like getting it back into a comfortable zone as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible to get back into that flow, to get back into that acceptance and that expansion that allows the space for others to grow, even if their growth is like, it might feel a little uncomfortable, like some of the things people are experiencing, going through, maybe expressing, to get through their healing or to get through their shadow work, whatever it is. But it's like this energy, I'm feeling, it knows that that's what's happening. So there's like this feeling of kind of, okay, I've been watching this, I've been observing this, I've been allowing the space for this to grow, because I'm trusting that a lot is being gained and gathered in this space of me not even saying anything, me not even being active in this process. We can only shine our light. We cannot change or speed up other people's processes. So that's another message coming through. So it's very important to know that that and if you can't, don't let it reflect on how you feel about yourself or your self-worth or your growth, what you've learned, and it doesn't make anybody else any less than you, because you might be further along in your healing. You can just see it, you can just recognize it, so you can allow that space for that healing to happen or that growth to happen. Okay, it says those are the times when we need to freestyle, like going with the flow. We need to do or not do based on what is happening for us right in the moment. That has been this energy too. It's been like a right in the moment energy, like, hey, now's the time to say this, or now's the time to just sit back, or now's the time to just take a minute to myself. Now's the time to have a little fun, or now's the time to, there's a real in this moment energy recently, where it's just kind of really going with the flow, like just day by day. Like it's kind of just going, so it feels like it's going really fast. I don't know if I'm the only one feeling that, but it feels super fast. But it feels super like big too. And I think that's why it's important. Maybe like less interference has been a good thing this last month, while people are pre-filling like this Pluto, which now Pluto is in Aquarius for until like October or whatever, and then it'll go back into Capricorn to like November, I think. So, we're going to getting more of this dose of this, and a longer dose of this Aquarius, which I feel really good about. It's just a lot of allowing people to kind of be free to be who they are and grow the way they need to grow, and kind of just come to, I feel like it's like coming to terms with like your part in the bigger picture too. Like it's a lot of that energy. It says often there is far less to do than we think. Often we don't need to think. There is a space forming around you now. Sometimes when we sense this subconsciously, we feel exhilarated and excited, anxious and nervous and not even sure why. There is a sense, perhaps, that we wouldn't mind having a map of this unknown terrain. And it does feel very unknown. This terrain feels very unknown, even to me. It feels quite new, and my South Node is an Aquarius, and I've been feeling this, and it feels kind of new, like some new territory or new energy. But even if we go back, even in our DNA, it goes back a long time. But this is some very new, big energy for the collective, and for us, just as we have evolved as humans over the last 200 and whatever it is, 50 or 35 years, 200 and some years, since Pluto's been in Aquarius. So that's big. We got a lot of big shifts happening with the planets this next couple months, you guys. So definitely check out astrology if you are into that. There is a sense, perhaps, that we wouldn't mind having a map of this unknown territory or terrain. Or perhaps we are happy to wing it and make it up as we go. Either way, there's a space to just be. It is a receiver for the divine presence. If you have a lot of space of unknowing around you now or within you, then just know that there's a lot of divine presence to be received. So that's kind of been the feeling too. It's like this feeling of kind of being emptied out to get filled with kind of new, I'm not sure yet. Like I'm still kind of in it, you guys, but I was like, man, I need to get this reading done. So I don't know maybe it'll help somebody. I'm just kind of going with the flow also. It can't be explained really. It happens between the words and yet without it. That's that mushroom energy I was getting, this like human mycelium energy. It's like we're like communicating. There's like a lot of energy in the space between spaces, and it's all being like communicated without the communication. So it's been really interesting to kind of watch how this energy is kind of making this, it's kind of freeing up our minds a little in a way, unless we overanalyze or overthink about it. It's kind of freeing up the mind. It's kind of emptying out a lot of things to kind of bring in new insights or new energy that just kind of goes, yeah, why have I been stuck on that for this long? Or why was it so hard to like let this be or let this go? Or this healing and all this stuff is going to come a lot easier, I feel like, through this energy that we're going through. It says this oracle speaks to you. Enter the space and let go, for your time to receive is upon you, and be blessed. So it's really a time of receiving here. I feel like you've already been receiving, and now it's actually coming into fertility. We're growing something here. We're manifesting something here. Magician style, behind the scenes style. We've been adding our contribution to our family, our friends, our jobs. We've been bringing our compassion to the table. We've been self-reflecting. We've been knowing that there's a lot submerged that is being reflected in what we're seeing in our like 3D reality. But we've also been in that space in between where we kind of see what's kind of coming up and what's kind of already been seen and what's yet to even be grown. But we may even be a little curious, or maybe not know exactly what is growing here, but it's something beautiful, you guys, and it has a lot to do with our hearts, and it has a lot to do with our compassion and healing. I am feeling that. So let's go ahead and read this dreaming and this belonging. You are connected to the dreaming, a part of the multidimensional universe that you cannot see but are always participating in, from which you are being informed and to which you are contributing information. This is what this reading is a lot about bringing the information that you're receiving to the table, maybe not doubting or questioning, or holding like your self-worth or value on what other people think of it, but it's just bringing it to the table energetically, maybe as a leader, maybe in a peaceful way. But this is what it's about. It's about communicating this energy that you've been definitely receiving to the other side, the seen, the unseen, you know. Whew. It says it says of which you are contributing information about yourself, about the world around you, and your belief systems. The dreaming is collective and personal. It can be both deeply destructive and incredibly restorative. There is no agenda to the dreaming. You are simply exist in relationship with it. You receive the medicine you need from this place, and in turn, you contribute your own medicine. Nice. You cannot unsee what comes forth from this realm. Very true. You cannot unsee or undo what has come forth through this realm. There's a lot. There's a lot in there. You've seen a lot. There's been a lot. Another interesting thing is I don't usually wear my cross, but today I was drawn to wear my cross about this receiving energy and this rooting and grounding energy from the heavens to the earth, and then this like this horizontal, that sunset kind of energy, the below, the up, kind of just that receiving energy, that balanced energy, and then we got the bottom rooting into it. But what's being put into the air, it feels very like I've been getting a lot of that mushroom energy, and it's been coming through in lots of signs and synchronicities too, through other readers, other people. I've been seeing it like in life, like little signs, and it'll just like, I was watching a cartoon and it was like, whoa, it's a mushroom. And I'm like, whoa, that's all I've been thinking about for 3 days. And there it is in a random cartoon I'm watching. And it's just like weird little like signs and stuff that's just like, yeah, you're definitely thinking about this. There's definitely a lot to do with this. Like, and the mushroom transmits communication to the other mushrooms through air and water, mind and emotion and psychic, like deep stuff. So if you didn't watch that video, that was a message that came through, and I've been talking about it, and this is really and this looks like a brain, this looks like a head, everything that's in that mind, you know. When it says you can look at them, it says there is you cannot unsee what comes forth from this realm. So, you know, you see it, you allow it, you accept it, even if it makes you uncomfortable. And you allow whatever's growing to grow, because this is like divine flow. This is like divine nature happening. We can heal parts of ourselves to the degree of, hey, now, you know, this isn't going to affect me to the degree that I self-sabotage or I don't feel whole or something within myself, you know. But I can now bring what I can to the table. And it doesn't mean we're always going to have the right words or anything, but that's okay. We don't need to even speak. We can just be at peace. We can just be at peace, and other people will feel that. Other people will see that healing and see that peace through you, and they will go, it's spreading the energy without even like talking about it. It's almost like it feels like there doesn't even need to be words. We also got so it says there's an entire rich world living in these parts of yourself that is waiting to be reclaimed and brought to wholeness. You can look at them, accept them, love them, and yes, even find delight and pleasure in them. Cozying up with these depths is restorative, and shining a light on what has been kept here will unlock more than you can imagine. In the dreaming, you have permission to be with the wholeness of your humanity, to be comfortable in your skin. That's another thing that came through. This is like, this morning I was thinking about this, like how unimportant our flesh really is compared to energy and spirit. The flesh is, it's gone. Like it's, the value is what we actually are. And we aren't just, so that's really nice, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and go to belonging. This is feeling it. I'm feeling this. Okay, it says, you, a sovereign being with unique gifts and talents for this incarnation, are at the center. Your matrilineal and lunar energies are to the left, and your patrilineal and solar energies are to the right. So feminine, masculine, this balance. Okay. It says when you look at the energetic role, those that articulate with this bone or flow of energy, this is all kind of in the pelvis. This is also about community, gathered and seen, wanting to be seen and bring community and be seen in the community. If it's out of balance, it may feel like overlooked or out of place. So hopefully you aren't feeling that way. I know I'm going to just be honest, I've been feeling that way. So it's a little out of balance. Because Spirit really wants us to know that you're exactly where you should be. If you feel like you're in between worlds right now, or you feel like you can't connect with one holy and the other holy, that's fine. You're right in the middle, which is exactly whole. It's exactly balanced. So we just, there's a need for that in between energy, and that's what's coming through. It says, consider the flowing of generations before you. I was feeling this DNA stuff too. And I've been thinking, man, I've done a lot of work in the DNA, a lot of work in the ancestral lines. That's all I've been working on for like years now. And it finally feels like, oh, like almost freeing. Like it's like I've actually done a lot of work in that space. And I hope everybody else is, if you've been carrying that, not maybe some more than others, but you definitely are feeling the release of a lot of that. That 10 of Pentacles, that the contribution you've made to the family, to the bloodline, to the community, how you've held something. You see this man holding this whole eye, you've held something that you've been seeing and understanding for a long time now, and now it's time to take what you know and manifest with compassion and understanding for our ancestors, for the past, but also for the future and what's happening right now too. It says, consider the right, feel the rhythm of generation after generation of your paternal lineage, the structure and cadence of the patriarchal thread that has brought you to this point, this place of belonging to the earth, this dimension, this time, this body, this family. Feel the container, the flowing of generations before you have been born and birthed. This is the feminine. So that you may be here at this exact place and time within this lineage. Feel the container of the wombs that have held you, the breast that has nourished you, and the hands that have helped you. This matriarchal caretaking has woven you into the tapestry of wisdom. Now look down and recognize that first and foremost, you belong to yourself. Neither masculine nor feminine, neither here nor there, neither in or out, both, all. That's what this message is about, really, you guys. I can feel it very strongly. This is about being okay in the middle, being okay as a whole, because you're not in the middle of anything. You're a part of everything, both, all. So you shouldn't feel out of place neither here nor there, in nor out. It's just like knowing that's where you're supposed to be at that time to gather the information and feelings and whatever, and that are needed at that time, so you can bring it to the other. Either way, vice versa. Bring the outer to the inner to the outer. Take it all and just, it's really it's temperance. It's temperance. It's balance. It's taking time and patience to mix and blend and create from a very intentional place, okay? That's what I'm getting. It says, this place of coming together accepts only your belonging, so you can accept and embrace it too. That feeling of belonging and needing to recognize you are exactly where you need to be. Now, I am going to, I've been going into the Galactic Heritage cards. We're going to pull one Galactic Heritage card. I usually use this deck for just me, but I've been, in the last couple readings, I've been wanting to bring in some of the very galactic energy, you guys, and it's not something I have. I'm very familiar with it, but I'm not sure how familiar everybody is. Or, but if you don't believe in like Arcturians and like Lyrians and like other planetary systems, other beings, maybe our DNA even possibly being from other dimensions or galactic territories or anything like that, the messages are great in these cards. So just listen to the message. Stubbornness, 40. Pleiades, past. Okay, let's read that. And we got two 40s here too. Let's see here. A habitual pattern of the Pleiadians when they were a young species was to become very excited about an idea and implement it without thinking it through. That intention, that balance. What are the far-reaching implications of these actions? Who benefits and who is hurt? Take a good look at the times you have done this in your current life. In the eyes of the universe, there are no mistakes. However, everyone has the responsibility to see beyond their own excitement and try to make choices that support the whole rather than simply the ego's desires. That's what this is too. It's like we want to be accepted. We want to be understood. We want people to get us. That's ego. That's all ego. Nobody needs to understand you or get you. You're exactly where you should be, and you bring exactly what you need to be bringing. And the more you fight to be understood or welcomed into a community or whatever it is, the more out of balance you are, not in flow with exactly like, how do I put this? We by fighting for this acceptance or fighting for this understanding, it shows, and it is imbalance. It shows that you are not sure of your belonging in this world or your belonging in the space you're in. It kind of feels like needing to take up that space in your own quiet, peaceful way, and know that I do belong here with all of this and all of that. I belong right here, right now, for some reason, and you may not understand those reasons. It's that Empress energy. All you need to do is allow and accept and nurture exactly what you're doing with intention, to see, just to be open to what grows and what becomes from it. I love that. Let's see. It's a nagging feeling of not deserving love, abundance, and joy, and feeling selfish for accepting it. This nagging feeling is often unconscious and can only be seen through deep self-examination. Religions often play on this human condition of guilt, and by reinforcing it, some religions can keep humans under control and believing in the way of the religion as the only thing that can absolve guilt. But the truth is that we have all fragmented from the source, and underlying all the physical lives we may have had in countless star systems, we are equal in the eyes of the Creator. That is so true. The transformational energy of this card asks you to look deep within for any feelings of guilt or unworthiness that might keep you from fully embracing love, abundance, and joy in your life. Once you can identify it, and it's likely not intellectually but through a feeling or a sense, begin to love that part of you unconditionally until it no longer needs to use guilt as a way to stop you from embracing the magnificence of your being, owning who you are, owning what you have to bring to the table, whether it's space or words, but also taking a lot of responsibility. It is responsibility, and it is, but don't be stubborn about, there's a healing here I'm feeling like a healing of like that belonging. Like, you know, if something in your environment isn't showing you acceptance or whatever your ego desires, that was one of my things I kind of set intentions for this year in 2024. I was like, I'm not going to let my egoic wants and desires get in the way of what my soul needs to grow. And that was one of my big things that I want to just point out, that it's important to recognize when our ego can want something and it actually gets in the way of what our souls are kind of calling us to grow in and become. And that went into the other card too, where it was like saying sometimes we're in uncomfortable places and positions, but our soul has put us in this place to grow, even though our egos or whatever say, no, this isn't where our mind, our intellectual side of us is like, no, why would I choose this? Because there's something there that's going to help you grow into more compassionate or understanding or loving, or you're going to learn something there, and it's important. It's important to your growth. So let's read this Bath Coal real quick. I like this message, you guys. Oh, Bath Coal. It's nice. This is really about truly owning and belonging right where you're at, even if you feel like this in-between kind of energy. It's definitely a place to grow here and think about what we're creating here by acceptance of ourselves first, and then we accept others much more naturally. Eschew complicated explanations as you seek the simplicity of the deepest truth of your heart. Gently but firmly cast aside that which does not resonate as being true for your heart. Focus upon and speak from a higher spiritual perspective. All prayers are answered at the perfect time and in the perfect way. You have a powerful voice. This is a lot about the voice, a lot about the throat chakra, and speaking from a place that does come from this higher spiritual understanding, this higher knowing, maybe a deeper feeling, just an understanding that's came through for you, that you can bring. It says, you have a powerful voice which can foster healing and wisdom on our planet. You do belong. There is power in your voice. There's power in the things you overcame, the things you've grown through, the things you've had to show and learn how to be compassionate with yourself, understand with yourself. So, hey, if you can do it and surrender to peace and not be guilted by society or some kind of structure or some kind of foundation or something like that, then everybody can. That's the thing. But sometimes we just, it takes time. It's temperance. It takes patience. It takes that extra consideration and careful of knowing when to not speak and when to speak. Okay, when to allow the growth to happen for people around you, for situations around you, and know when it needs to happen for you in silence and in that place in between too. That's another message coming through. And it says, the spiritual voice of Bath Cool is always true, always healing, and always in harmony with the higher loving plan of the universe. Yes, we may not understand what the big garden looks like. We may say something that's like, whoa, but that's Empress. Empress energy allows everything to grow because it knows it's a medicine or it's going to serve a purpose. Everything serves a purpose in the great garden, in the great garden of existence, in our life, in our souls. So just really hold on to this Empress energy right now, you guys, and just understand that everything that is growing for a reason. Everything that you are feeling is there. It can be expressed, whether words or wordless, through your peace with that, your peace and your understanding with yourself and your divine connection to the whole or to the one or to source, okay? We each have our own special things to bring to the table. And if you've ever heard my analogy about like the parties or the picnics and bringing potato salad, and not everybody likes potato salad, but it doesn't matter. That's what I bring. So you like it or you don't. That's okay. I'm still meant to bring it, okay? That's it. And you're meant to bring what you bring, okay? It says, when Bath Cool appears in a reading, an inner spiritual call may require a leap of faith. A more authentic, awakened you is coming to life. I have been feeling this. It's like more authenticity coming from my mouth, more truth about like what I'm truly, how I truly feel my energy is trying to break free from, like, it is like this pleasing energy to everybody. Like, if it doesn't please you, then I'm not going to say it or I'm not going to express it. And it's just it's, you can't go back like to that because it's just hindering. It's hindering your truth. It's hindering your growth. It's hindering what you've learned. And it's kind of, I'd say, even minimizing all the work and all the things you have gathered. This is way more honest. Saying, I know this is gonna maybe cause a ruffle in the water, like might ruffle some feathers, it might ripple some waters, it might cause a little That's part of this energy. It's all moving through to shift and change things, and it's growing some others differently than it's growing you. But your part in it is valuable, and you do have a contribution here to bring what it is you have to bring to the table. Like I said, any way you can, through energy, through words, through some kind of creative expression, maybe art, maybe poetry, whatever it is. There's definitely something here you can help nurture, grow, and it's helping you to also feel like, hey, I do belong. This is my place. And it doesn't matter if there's a reason why we get surrounded by, I've said this before too, it's like, it's always comfortable to be around people that are totally in agreement with us and are totally on the same wavelength as us, like our soul tribe but that's not, it's getting past discomfort and getting past our own boundaries and our own thresholds that grow us, that kind of expand the garden, expand the ground to grow in. We can't do that in the same constricted area. So we have to break through uncomfortable barriers. And this means with other people and places and things too, where it's like, but how are you going to spread any of your energy if you just are doing it where you're comfortable. Okay, so that's been part of this too, is thinking about how uncomfortable it can be to come and say, hey, this is what I've been getting, or this is what I've been seeing, or this is what I've been reflecting on, this is what I have to bring to the table, and then get rejected or get like put down maybe. And it's like, well, I understand though. I understand that's just, you're there, I'm here, and I'm okay where I'm at. So I'm at peace with that, and nobody can guilt you or shame you for going through your experiences and being where you're at. You're meant to be here. You're meant to be doing exactly what you're doing. If you have any questions about that, this is saying yes, and you're manifesting. And it feels like you're doing it through a lot of compassion, from self-reflection, and from doing a lot of work, holding a lot of weight for, I feel like this ancestral, doing a lot of ancestral work, doing a lot of energetic work, going deep into the realms that others maybe can't see, but you've been holding it. You've been holding that space. And now it's like I'm feeling this in the energy myself. It's coming back into this space, coming back into the space with a higher knowing, a higher consciousness, a higher understanding of what's really happening here. So I hope you understand that as I say that. So praying for the way for the higher self to manifest. And that's it. This is manifesting your highest self and the highest self of others also, through this compassion, through this contribution, through this communication, through this reflection, and through this understanding and knowing that this dreaming energy, and it does feel very, it's feeling very like Neptunian. It belongs, and it's part of the growth of us in our evolution. So I love that. It says, paving the way for the higher self to manifest typically means that fear and control-based approaches, this goes with the energies we're dealing with here right now, need to be surrendered. Yeah, you can't control another's progress or process. You can't control what's going on. All you can do is just bring your potato salad to the table. Bring whatever you have and just speak your truth, okay? Because we need to get rid of these approaches that are all based on like control and fear. It's where is it here? Hold on. Bath Cole's presence indicates something more appropriate and vital needs to supersede the limiting structures currently in place. This is what's going to be happening with all of this energy. It has been happening through the Capricorn energy with Pluto. Now we're getting into this. It's just the end degree here. We're at that point where it's where we are, and if you are in touch with the energy and you are very consciously aware of the energies that you've been feeling, and you've been trying to understand or trying to see all the connections here, we're getting into new energies here, and there's old energies and there's old stuff that it's just not it needs more space to grow sometimes, or it's just going to be like, I've kind of had this, I think I've mentioned this in readings too, like where there's like, you could worry about like certain energies being smothered by other energies, but the balance is there. There needs to be more of certain energies coming in right now. I do feel like a lot of that is going to be this dreaming energy for a little bit, but we still have to hold that ground between these very same but different realities. It's very interesting. But it says, as a consequence, she is a portent of spiritual transformation and material manifestation. That's what I've been getting. It's taking all of the spiritual energy that I have been dealing with and living and growing through, and it's really hard to word. It's really hard for some people to understand, but that's okay. It's just is what it is. But also knowing that this is important, and it's important to have a voice, and it's important to manifest this compassion and this understanding for everybody who's going through all of their earth stuff, all of their spiritual stuff, all of their mental stuff, all of the stuff, you guys. There's so much. So let's just, honoring her guidance requires courage, but brings rich rewards on many levels. Yes, this oracle indicates a voice that is true and needs to be acknowledged. This may be a voice in your own heart, which needs to be heard without judgment or censorship. I'm getting that with this fertility and this dreaming and this belonging card. Like maybe you really need to say something, speak something into existence. And whether it ruffles feathers or ripples waters, it doesn't matter. It's authentic and it needs to be heard. And it trust that it's going to shift and change and transmute whatever energies it is meant to shift, change, and transmute. Okay, guys? It may be a loving and helpful voice of a reliable guide or friend whom you know can be trusted. So you may need to just, it may be teaching from a dream or an insight from a meditation or even an inkling of certain happenings or sightings or signs from the universe to help you on your life path. Backcall is a clear voice of communication between humanity and higher beings. Yeah, I can definitely relate to this, you guys, because I have been getting tons of messages from my higher beings, my highest selves. And I do struggle with wanting to be understood, or that feeling of wanting to belong and wanting to be understood. And it's almost to a point where it's like, I can't tell you to understand or believe or anything. All I can say is it's true. And there's a lot. And I think everybody has these feelings of like, oh, does this belong, or do I belong because this is strange or this is different? And this is a very strong reading. Cancers, first house, whatever you're watching this, it's a very strong message to communicate and express the messages, the signs, the synchronicities, and even what's happening, experiences in your life right now that are showing you, and there to show you so you can speak it or express it to others, so you can kind of bridge the gap between the worlds with your words, with your expression. Just trust it belongs, and trust that if you're looking for some kind of acceptance or something, it's probably your ego, and it's probably a wound, honestly, that you're carrying from maybe a time when you spoke something or said something and it wasn't accepted, or it was put down by maybe somebody close to you, maybe somebody, yeah, we have to get rid of that and just honor our feelings right now, honor our insights and our guidance, and trust it's here for a reason. And it's not just for you, it's for others also to grow and to learn. So that is the reading, you guys. It was a really nice reading. Thank you again for bearing with me. I'm going to try to get up here and do house 2 tomorrow. I'm taking these really slow, you guys, so just bear with me. You already have, if you're still on this channel, you already have, so I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Because I really feel like people that stay with the channel when they haven't put out anything for like a month understand the energy. They understand there's times to not speak. They understand there's times that you have a lot of stuff going on energetically and coming through, and there's no way to do a reading like this. There really isn't. Not when you're in that place where you are being guided to not, to only sit there and receive. That it isn't your time to give yet, but it will come. That's beautiful. That just fell out. And I will leave you with that image. It's beautiful. All right, guys. So thank you again. And as always, I hope you guys have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.